Hi, I'm Anne from Game Like a Mother. Today I'm going to provide a rules overview and review of Hand Wombat. It's ages 7 and up, 3 to 6 players, and it takes 15 minutes. Let me show you how to play. The goal of the game is for your team to get to 3 points first. If you're a good wombat or a bad wombat. The good wombats score points by building these towers from low to high, putting the blocks together from smallest to largest. These symbolize wombat poop, and they have included an oatmeal little comic book about the subject with the game if you want to read it. Bad wombats win points by these towers not being built or created. For game setup, you use the lid of the box and you put together these bases. The gray bases are very easy to put together. And then for your first time playing, they suggest to make it a little bit easier. You put the first piece on the bottom of each of the stacks and then spread the rest of these around, randomly around the lid. They all have to be inside of the box lid. And then for each player playing, you take a card, and for your first time through, we'll say this is a 4-player game, there's 1 card per player, and you need to have all basic wombats and 1 wicked wombat. If you had more players, if you had a 5-player game, then you would put another basic wombat out here. If you play a little bit and want to play with advanced rules, they have some specialty rules you can incorporate, but don't do that for your first time playing. But they have a generous wombat, a needy wombat, a confident wombat, and a confused wombat for future gameplay. So we're saying this is a 4-player game. Face down, shuffle them out. You can say whatever you want about your card. We always play just keep it a secret and don't react. That seems to be the best thing for kids. Each person has their secret role. And then what you're going to do is you're going to set a timer and have everyone close their eyes. And the timer's set for 90 seconds, for 1.5 minutes. And you start it, and everyone uses one hand and puts their hand in here and starts trying to build towers. Rules for building. You cannot open your eyes. You cannot use more than one hand. You cannot place bricks or spindles outside of the boundary. You cannot intentionally remove the base from the spindles. You can communicate. You can put your hand on top of a tower to protect it. You can hold on to bricks in your hand, and you can take bricks off of spindles. Sometimes you have to do that if the wrong one has been placed. If you are the wicked wombat, you can take correctly placed bricks off of the towers, put the wrong bricks on the towers, hand other players the wrong bricks when they ask for help, ask for bricks you don't really need, hide bricks in your hand so nobody can find them when they need them, spin the boundary around to disorient the other wombats. In our experience, this is one of the most devastating things they can do. You can pretend to be a special role that you aren't, and you can talk really loud so nobody can tell what's going on. However, you have to watch it, because if you do too many of those, your role might not be too secret after the first round. And we'll say it ended like this. The first round is over, and now it is time for scoring and voting. For scoring, if all 3 towers are complete, the good team scores 2 points. If 2 towers are complete, the good team scores 1 point. If 2 towers are incomplete, the bad team scores 1 point, which would be what happened this time. And if 3 towers are incomplete, the bad team scores 2 points. So now you've done scoring. It's time for voting. So no discussion. You just count down from 3 and point to whichever player you suspect is on the bad team. If you don't suspect anyone, you can point upward. Your choice isn't final yet. This is just giving you something to talk about, so you get to discuss, and then you take your final vote. Count down from 3 again and point to the person you want to vote out of the game. After the final vote, if more than half of the players in the game vote for that one person, we'll say they vote for the person on this side, that person is out of the game. They cannot reveal their role. That's it. And even if they're the Wicked Wombat and you've successfully voted them out, the game isn't over yet. If you don't work well as a team to build these towers, the Wicked Wombat can still win. Now it's time for the next round. And for your first round of play, you get to keep these bottom ones on because it is a little tricky the first time. So now you set a timer for 90 seconds and same rules again. You're trying to work together to get these towers built. You do the same thing and we'll say, oh, that would be wrong. We'll say this time they get 2 towers built. So then that means the good team scores 1. Even if that time it seemed very clear there was no Wicked Wombat, nothing got moved around, nothing got taken off, the game isn't over. You still need to see if you still have a voting round and you score, you vote, and then you just keep on going until, if let's say the final round, you set it all up again, clear the towers, set up the third round, and this time you get all the towers built, then that would mean that the good team gets 2 points and they would win this time. But now, after a group has played and the good team has won once, from then on, you're supposed to play where you have to do all 6 tiles. You don't get a starter tile anymore, and you have to do all 6 from then on. And everybody gets to reveal their roles, talk about who the Wicked Wombat was, and in the future you can introduce more advanced gameplay with the good wombats besides the basic wombats, and it's just first to 3 each time. So that's how to play Hand Wombat. The target demographic for this game is someone who's looking for a party game they can play with kids. The rule complexity is so easy. And how competitive is the game? It's medium competitive. Typically, when we play, whoever is the Wicked Wombat does not go with subtle as their approach, and they have an amazing round where they just wreak havoc and destruction, and everyone knows who the Wicked Wombat is, and they get voted out right away, and then you spend the next few rounds trying to make it so you still win. It's still challenging to win, even without the Wicked Wombat involved, especially depending on the age of the kids and the group that's playing, because to build towers with your eyes closed is tricky. And sometimes it's worse if you have more people in there because there are just too many hands grabbing at things. So there's some competitive, it's some challenge no matter how much you play, but everyone enjoys themselves so much while they play this. Win or lose, it seems like everybody has a really great time, which is the point of a party game. And the replay value is very high because whenever we've played this, kids are all desperate to have a chance to be the Wicked Wombat. It is clearly the most fun role to have in this game. And because it really does need to be a random distribution of who gets to be at each turn, you end up playing game after game after game because you're trying to get everybody a turn to get to be the Wicked Wombat. But the games are quick. They're really fun to play. It is fun to play, and it might be even more fun to watch because it is just hilarious chaos. So it just seems like anybody who's around has an absolute blast playing or watching this game. Similar games, if you like this, if you really like the Exploding Kittens types games, On a Scale of 1 to T-Rex is another one of their social games in which you are just you're acting different things out, but you're trying to match the intensity level of someone else acting out a different thing. And it's cute and hilarious and along these lines. And then if you like the dexterity portion of this game, another game that really appeals to this age of kids is Ice Cool, is a penguin flicking game. You get to have your eyes open and you're trying to go around a high school and not be caught by the hall monitor as you try to collect the most fish. And it's really fun, a little bit challenging. I really love playing that one with my kids too. So another excellent one to check out. But Hand Wombat is an absolute hoot. Kids go nuts over it. Adults, it's fun to play as an adult, and it's just as fun to watch, so you should check it out. Thanks, and see you next time from Game Like a Mother.